Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the None of Your Business podcast. My name is Dr. Shawn Dill. This is my beautiful wife and co-host, Dr. Lacey Book. And today we have for you a very special short edition of the None of Your Business podcast. Now, one of the things that we say a lot in our circles, presentations, in work with our team, and of course in the Black Diamond Club is this saying, respect the money. And of course, that doesn't even make sense. Like, I understand, like, that's not even really a proper sentence. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, what it means and how it can be useful for our viewers and listeners. So what does that mean, respect the money? And I know that you've gone through quite a transformation yourself relative to respecting money.
Well, this is funny because you have taught me a lot when it comes to respecting money. I don't think that when I was growing up or was learning about money and how to treat my money or engage with money or what to do with money, that this concept was ever in my paradigm or realm of thinking. And so the first thing that comes to mind anytime you say respect the money is the concept of the wallet.
Yeah, that's what I always think about. And
it's
especially
always the first thing.
And I'll take a little bit of heat, but listen, usually the females are a little more guilty of this than the males.
Yeah, well, that's because we have bigger space to mess up.
Yes.
Essentially, we have large purses that can fit little dogs in them if we want. I mean, we have the ability to really mess things up when it comes to our wallet. So when I first met you, one of the things that you were always shocked about is when I pulled out my wallet, what a mess it actually was. I had a tendency I didn't like shove money in there, but I would like fold it up, put it in there. But what I did shove in there was receipts. It didn't matter if I went to the grocery store or I went to Nordstrom Rack at that point. If I got a receipt, it was shoved in my wallet, crumpled up on top of all of the money.
Or if it was a business receipt. How many people have that too,
That's
right?
What I said. It doesn't even matter. It was all mixed up, right? And so it was this concept of I had money and I would spend it. And even at times when we didn't have money and I was scared to spend it, that when I did have it, I wasn't respectful of the money that I had. I didn't treat it right.
And so the concept stems from the idea of being in relationship with your money. And in any successful relationship, you'll find, concepts of respect, of communication, right? Things of being open. And so here's what it really means, right? Is that you have to be respectful of your money as you are in relationship. And so if in our relationship, it would not be proper for me to be disrespectful. It would not be proper for me to not care for you, to just, put you in a corner and be like, oh yeah, we just drag Lacey out, for functions, but people do that, right? With your money.
I'm an animal.
Well, that's what you do. Like with,
right.
I have this 20, I'm going to fold it up into a little triangle. And that one's for, if I get a flat tire, oh, look at this one. I'm going to tuck that one away, this $5 in case I need to get stuck at the bar.
Oh, and a lot of people, they put their money someplace and they forget that they put money in there.
Yeah. Oh, I found
it. We've seen stories of people, washing their money and it tears apart. It's like in a coat or
But every time, and that gets glorified, right? Look, I found money in my pants. And I would always just say, like, what if that was your spouse? Oh, wow. I just totally had no idea where Lacey was. But then I opened the closet and there she was. I was like, wow, there's my wife. This is the best day ever, because that's how people are.
Yeah.
But really what I think when that happens is, well, you were obviously neglectful of your money. You didn't even know where your money was.
And here's the deal, though. It's about respecting the money is just paying attention to your money, the way that you would pay attention to your spouse when you're in a relationship. Because what happens oftentimes when you don't have money and you're in a state of lack, you avoid.
Right.
And so you stop paying attention and you don't treat it
the
correctly.
The same thing with relationships.
Right. Because you don't want to confront it. And so typically when you're disrespecting the money, it's because you don't want to confront it because you're not in the place that you want to be. So if you change your way of thinking,
but if there's strife in the relationship, what's the first step? You have to communicate. You have to get into relationship. If there's strife in your financial world, what's the first step? Well, you need to face the reality, and you need to open up channels of communication. And now people are like, well, how do you talk to your money? It's not talking to it. It's being in relationship. It's knowing how much money do you actually have, right? So it's not like, a lot of people that money just goes direct deposit into their checking account. They just use their debit card until it's zero, and then more money magically appears. Well, that's not any way to be in relationship. And I'm not advocating, budgets and all of these systems, and I am advocating being in relationship, but I am also advocating taking care. Right? So you want to feel respected and cared for. So I think that this is a great time, if you're listening to the podcast, to get your wallet out. Make sure that all of your credit cards, which are financial tools, basically like money, your paper money, that they're all in order, that it's and you literally mentally think like, I've got you. Everybody's good here. You used to do this with coins. Right? Where the coins became useless. And so coins in your world were neglected. Right. And so then you found a place and you began to put the coins. It's not that you have to like roll them up, but you have a place now where coins go and you're mindful of that. And that allows money to flow. It allows you to live in a state of abundance because you become more respectful. And once you really start doing well, you guys all know that I love those money wraps, right? That you see in the bank. And I think that's super important if you begin to accumulate cash, that you don't just like jam it in a brown paper bag and then take it to the bank, that everything is in order. I think that you'll find that the more respectful you are of your finances and your money, the more abundance and flow that you will receive into your life. And I know that you would agree.
Yeah, and just like you want to fix anything in your life, any relationship in your life, the moment that you pay more attention to it, the moment that you respect it, the moment that you give it more of your time, energy, and love, it grows and it fixes and it gets better. Well, the same thing happens with your money. And I know it sounds a little crazy, but it's true. The more that you pay attention to it. Hey, just like when you think that you want to go get a car, right? Like you're like, oh, I want to get let's say I want to get a BMW 3 Series and I'm going to work really hard and I'm going to white BMW 3 Series. Then what happens? You start seeing it everywhere. There it is. There it goes. There's another one and another one. The same thing happens with money. When you put it into your conscious mind and you begin to think about it and pay attention to it, more of it shows up. And it's true. It's just the way that the world works. And so respecting the money, being in relationship with it, giving it the attention it needs will actually help you to find solutions and resolve some of the financial strife in your life.
So don't be afraid. Let's get your wallets out. Let's get those all in order. Let's log into your bank account. Yeah. Let's look at what you've got. Let's be thankful and grateful for what you have. Let's start being mindful of your money on a daily basis. Like you can't have a relationship with a person and only talk to them once a month, right? Yeah. You have to be in daily, constant contact, taking care of, supporting, and in communication with. I want you in communication with your money. Starting right now, every single day, I want you to make sure that everything's cool. I always tell my money too, if I am in communication with my money, like we want to mostly to the hundreds and the 20s and the 50s. And I tell them, hey man, like it's great to be over here. Get your friends.
Bring more.
Invite your friends. Bring more of your friends. I'll make sure everybody's taken care of. But the other thing too is, look, you can't be in a relationship that's restrictive, right? So like, how many people have been in a relationship where you just feel like you
try to control.
You're super controlled, and a lot of times, a lot of you don't have abundance because you're super controlling of your money. So you get the $100 bill, and you're like, you're mine.
You hoard it.
You're never leaving me, and so you have to say, look, if you are going to leave, so I'm going to spend $100 on a meal. Just make sure you come back, and when you come back, bring your friends.
That which flows grows. So let your money flow. Let it go out. It'll come back in, and oftentimes it comes back in with more friends and more abundance.
Well, I hope those tips help you to grow your financial abundance. We'll be back again next week with another edition of your None of Your Business podcast.